Good afternoon, this is Don from How To's and Reviews, and today I've got a 2019 Polaris RZR 900. Now I recently picked this up because it does have some issues, and originally the transmission's bad, and also the primary and secondary clutch is bad. So let's first talk about why the primary clutch is bad, or let's show you a broken one. So here we go. Here's the primary clutch, and as you can see, there's a lot of space right here. See that? And now what that means is the primary clutch is engaged, completely engaged. And what happened here is a groove probably got worn into the center bearing, and now this is riding in there and it's unable to disengage. We've got the secondary here, and if you look at this, I already loosened this up. As you can see, it's a 17mm bolt. When we take this off, I'll show you some issues with this. Alright. So here we go. If you look, you can see that there are grooves worn in from these plastic, I guess you'd call them bushings. See the play that's in this? That's not supposed to be. A friend of mine told me about Harvey's ATV parts, and I wanted to check them out. So what I did is I gave him a quick message on Facebook, and he called me back within the hour. He was very informative. He let me know. I let him know what this thing is doing, or what the clutch looks like, and he explained that, you know, it's probably just a bad primary, but the secondary is also starting to wear out. So that's when I decided to give him a try. He's out of Tennessee. Again, it's Harvey's ATV Parts. He's an awesome guy. He was telling me he does not have a belt yet, so I picked up just one of the Gates belts, the Red Lion. And if you have a 2019 900, that is your part number, 21R4140. So let's go ahead and open up the new secondary first and look. So it gives you a little note, just saying if the top half of the clutch feels loose, it's normal. And then a nice thank you for doing business. So far his customer support's been awesome. And in here, when you buy the two-part kit, it does come with a special tool to remove the primary. It's in with the secondary, but this is to remove the primary. The secondary is easy, just a 17mm bolt. I used an impact driver, 15mm again. Once I pulled it, it came right off. The belt did fight me a little bit with getting it off, but I don't have the tool to get off the belt. So let's check out the new secondary clutch. So here we go, new secondary clutch. So now what there are the rollers, and the rollers ride against these so those square blocks don't wear out the secondary. So they roll up against, it's supposed to have play, but that is a very nice improvement. As you can see, everything's brand new, looks good, and to put this on is very easy. You just line up the spleen, so we're going to do that. So, just slide her on. To get the secondary clutch on, it is easier to actually put the machine in gear. This way the shaft isn't spinning, so you can line up, make sure you line up everything in the back with the spleens. Next, you got your bolt. That's going to go in. And there is a torque specification for this, but I'm just going to hit it with the impact. Because, as you can see, this thing just wants to spin when you when you're going to try to use a wrench and pull on it. Again, there's a bunch of videos on how to put this on, but I figured I'd show you a bad clutch, because that's definitely what that is. And also get a good example of how those squares wear out the inside of the housing, like I showed you earlier. So we'll go ahead and tighten that up. $15mm on the impact. That's it. Nice and tight and ready to go. Cool. Next, the primary clutch. So first what we're going to do is we're going to take the bolt off for the primary clutch. And these can be on tight, and so can the clutch. So we're gonna remove this bolt. Again, this is a 21mm, and this impact driver shouldn't have any issues getting it off, hopefully. There it is. There we go. Bolt's off. Now we got to use the tool that they provided. Which is right here. I'm going to go get some grease real quick to put on these threads and put on the end, because it kind of makes a hydraulic lock in the end. This way you try not to damage anything. So here's the tool we provided. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some grease on these threads and on the end, like I said, to make that hydraulic lock. And you want to always start this by hand. Don't just put the impact driver on it. And this is a different size. This is a 1-inch size. So we'll just go ahead and put some little grease on the end. And some on the threads. Always better to be safe than sorry with fine threads like this. So you go ahead and insert that here, and then start that by hand until it stops. All right, it stopped. Now I'm going to switch over to the 1-inch impact driver. And as we tighten this in, the clutch should pop off. And there it goes. Clutch is off. We'll take our tool out of there. And put that away for next time. So as you can see, this clutch is shot. It's fully engaged. It looks like it did kind of wear in a groove to itself. So, out with the old. And let's check out the new one from Harvey. These guys are out of Tennessee. I ordered this 2 days ago, and it got here quick. I did order the lower engine braking one. This way, when I'm doing under 15 miles an hour, it doesn't like throw me into the front of the side-by-side. I heard that was a good option, and very nicely made. Here's your bearing the belt is supposed to ride on, and see that's fully wide open. That's the way it's supposed to be. And there's a little note in here. What do you think it says? Thank you for shopping. Any customer service, and we look forward to serving you again in the future. Again, guys, Harvey's ATV parts, you gotta check them out. The guy called me personally, went through everything. Very nice guy. So here we go. Next we're gonna put this on and torque it down. So it is best to make sure you clean out those threads that you have grease in. Make sure your surface is clean. Check for leaks around here. Same with the secondary. Always look for any kind of drippage down below. You just want to make sure everything's nice and clean. Get in there with a shop towel. All right. Next, the clutch just slips on. Now you've got your bolt. And that just goes right in the center. Now, with this bolt, there is a centering washer. Just make sure you have them both on. Okay. Switch to the 21 millimeter and lock it down. All right. There we go. Now next, I gotta try to fight with this new belt. I don't have the tool to do this, so there might be some fighting. Definitely want to put the machine in neutral. This way that spins. Got that brand new belt. There it is. Gates, red line. All right. This should be the fun part. All right, new belt's on. What we're gonna do is put the cover back on and give this thing a shot. Now I do have a bad wheel bearing here, so I'm not gonna go very far with it. But I think we definitely deserve to take this out real quick to see if it works. That's for sure. Harvey, love the clutch. Everything's working good. Thanks again for watching from How To's and Reviews.